I want to start this video off by talking about my opinions about these two guys so you guys can see where I'm coming from and fully understand my point. So if you're a fan of these guys or you watch these guys, all fine and dandy. I watch pretty much everything these guys put out. Been watching them for years. I think overall they're good guys and they're a net positive for humanity. That's how I feel about these two guys. However, I do have some issue with some of the things that they say. It's not because I think they're necessarily evil, but I do think that when you don't speak the full truth, or if you don't know what the full truth is and you make up something and then you want people to believe the nonsense that you made up, I have a huge problem with that. And why am I choosing these two? Well, because they're two of the most credible people on YouTube. They're two of the most popular people on YouTube. A lot of people take these two guys seriously. So when you have two guys that are very respectable, very credible, people take them seriously, and they put out information that is either incomplete, erroneous, false, or nonsensical, and then they want their audiences to follow them, that causes an issue, right? Because I am basically trying to speak the real truth about everything. So when I see something wrong, regardless of who's saying it, regardless if I like these guys or I think they're good guys or whatever my personal opinion is about them, I need to correct it, right? Now, I can talk about people like the Young Turks or people like that, right? Leftists. And the thing is, people don't take those people seriously. Those people are self-destructive, meaning people will listen to their words and nobody's going to believe them. They're just going to be like, all right, unless you're retarded or something is wrong with you and you actually believe people like the Young Turks are credible, then you're hopeless. There's no hope for you, right? So there's no point of me talking about people like that or attacking those people. I could, but if I did that, all my videos would be about breaking down and talking about every single thing they say wrong, because all they do is talk nonsense. So it would be a waste of my time when people can just look at them and tell these guys are full of shit, right? But Tim Pool and the Quartering are not like that. They're actually credible. Most of the things they say are true, and they do try to help humanity. For the most part, most of the things I see that they say are good. So that's why when they put out something that is wrong, I feel compelled to talk about it. And I have done that. I've talked about these guys on my channel before. And it's not good when people that are credible don't speak the full truth. Like I said, these two are probably the main two guys that when I say to you guys, these companies aren't about making money, like the last video I made, right? I think about these two because these two are always putting this out. They're always saying these companies are about making money and they're trying to gain a bigger market share and they're trying to cater to a new audience and yada, yada, yada. That's not the truth of what's happening. That's not what's happening. It's a lot more sinister and evil than that. And because these guys refuse to go beyond humanity and they want to focus on the human aspects, which is their right. If that's what you want to focus on, go ahead. But stop telling people that that's what it is when that's not what it is. If you refuse to go beyond your limited threshold of knowledge and you want to stick to just humans, fine. But stop pretending that you know everything and that you know exactly why these companies are doing these things. I've heard Tim Pool say, I'm sure that this is why they're doing this, or it's because of this, or I've heard the Quartering say, nah, I don't think it's that. It has to be this. When they say that, it angers me because I'm like, you're wrong. You're clearly wrong, and you're too smart to be thinking like this. You're aware that there are people like Alex Jones, like Tim Pool talks to Alex Jones all the time, and David Icke and all these other people are out there that have talked about these things, that have exposed these things, and they're not the only ones. There are plenty of credible people that have spoken what the truth is. But if you refuse to go to the truth and you want to stay in your limited mindset, stop pretending that you know everything and stop acting like you have all the answers when you don't. Even I don't have all the answers. And I'm far more willing to go beyond humanity than these guys are. And I don't think I have all the answers. So if I don't think I have all the answers, then these motherfuckers better not act like they have all the answers. And I'm not trying to disrespect them, but it's the truth. And I don't care who you are. If you get offended, and I don't think they would get offended if they heard what I'm saying. But regardless, If they do get offended, so be it. I'm just speaking the truth, all right? I'm just telling people how it is, all right? I don't have a personal problem with these guys, but I do have an issue with not speaking the truth fully and giving people half-assed truths, right? Especially when people really respect you, people really rely on your information, and people consider you to be credible. So stop giving people half-assed truths. And if you don't know what's going on, then don't talk about it. Don't pretend that you know, because you don't know. And then they'll say something like, "Well, these people are like Tim Pool likes to say this. He'll be like, "Oh, people are conspiracy theorists and they're making stuff up. I'm not into that." Okay, if you're not into that and you don't want to listen to what other people have to say because you think you have all the answers, then why don't you shut the fuck up and stop talking about it? Because you don't know. You're limiting yourself and cutting yourself off from more knowledge because you don't want to believe that it's true. Therefore, you don't have the authority to tell other people what they know or don't know because you have cut yourself off from knowing more. That's your own damn fault if you want to limit yourself. But stop telling other people that they don't know what they're talking about because you don't fucking understand it or you don't want to accept it. That's a big problem that I have with Tim Pool. He consistently pretends he has all the answers and he knows everything when he doesn't. And then he'll try to eat some humble pie and say, "Well, I don't have all the answers." Well, if you know you don't have all the answers, then stop telling other people that they don't know. That you know more than they do. Because you don't. It's that simple. Pick one. Either you have all the answers or you don't. You can't be like back and forth. "Oh, I know more than these people. They're conspiracy theorists." And, "Oh, I don't know everything." Which one is it, right? Make up your fucking mind, right? That's the way I see it. But long story short, the reason why these guys can get away with saying things that I can't say, because I can't really talk about LGBTQ or whatever, all these other pride and all this other stuff. I can't talk about certain things because when I give my opinion about it, I get a strike, I get shut down, blah, blah, blah. But these guys can talk about it all day, say whatever the fuck they want. You know why? Because they got to YouTube way before I did. They were making content way before I was. And at the time that they started, it was still feasible and allowed to give your opinions and say certain things. And the censorship really ramped up, especially during COVID days, right? But they got in before when it was okay to say things. And they built up an audience and they were smart, right? They basically made sure that they didn't get removed before they can get their opinions out. So then they grew to be so big and popular that any attack against them would make YouTube look bad, because these guys are about as middle of the road as you can get. So and they also work very hard, not because I curse a lot, right? They try not to curse. They try not to say bad words. They try not to say derogatory things about people. Like, they're very respectable when it comes to the content they put out and how they talk about people and when they put out their opinions. You know, people might not like the way I say things, and I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say things the way I want to say, whether you like it or not. I mean, Tim Pool has a private, not private, but he has his own website where he does an after show, and he lets loose on that show. Because I've heard people say, "Well, I don't like the way you say things." And I'm like, well, you think I'm the only one that curses in the world? Like, people curse all the time. Tim Pool just decided to put it on his own website where he can let loose. And when you go see him talk how he really wants to talk, not on YouTube, but on his website, he's cursing nonstop. Probably curses more than I do. But that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. None of these people are saints, right? Like, you guys think people are saints or whatever you think, right? If you think that, I'm not saying everyone thinks that, but if you think these people are like perfect, blue collar, never make a mistake, never curse, never say anything wrong, you're out of your damn mind. The only difference between me and them, and maybe this is a fault that I have that maybe I should correct, right, is that they're smart enough not to do it on YouTube, where I'm just like, fuck it, I don't care. But maybe I should censor myself a little bit in terms of the way I speak. But I just feel more comfortable saying things the way I say it because I can express myself better. That's why people curse. It's a form of expression. And when I'm passionate about something, cursing helps me to express my point more. I don't have to curse. I can say it the way I want to say it. But this leads me to my next point. Like, I could be a nice guy just like they are, right, on YouTube. But the next point I want to make is that's why these guys are allowed to say what they say and I'm not. Because their words are not as impactful as my words. My words hit harder. You feel what I'm saying. These guys, you feel it, but it's like wishy-washy, right? They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I agree with you, you're right, but blah, blah, blah. When I say something, you fucking know what the fuck I'm saying. You feel that shit. You understand. It changes you. It hits you where it matters. They don't have that kind of impact. They may be more popular than me. They may have more followers. They may have more money, whatever. But they don't have the impact that I have. The people don't feel them the way they feel me. And that's the truth. It's not a bragging thing. It's not a I'm better than them thing. It's just what happens. It's just the way things are. So when YouTube hears somebody like me speaking the truth and saying the things I say, they're like, whoa, this guy is a problem. This guy's a threat. We gotta do something with this guy. Like, we can't let him go too far because he's gonna really make a difference. If he keeps going the way he's going and saying the things he says, and he keeps growing an audience and getting bigger, people start really following this guy, he could be a problem. I can really actually make a difference. These guys, they're just going to let you hear what you want to hear, make you feel good about it, and you're going to continue on your life like you've been going, right? Like nothing's going to change. You're just going to be like, yep, these guys were right. Now I'm just going to keep living my life because they told me what I wanted to hear. That doesn't change anything. That doesn't make any difference. The world's still fucked. Shit is still happening the way it's happening. But again, I say things raw and uncut. Maybe I should pull back. Only for YouTube though. So if I do start pulling back, it's only going to be because of YouTube. And it will only be on YouTube. Meaning on my other platforms, I'm still going to say shit the way I say it. But YouTube, unfortunately, is run by snowflakes. And they are very sensitive. And they don't want people like me trying to make a difference and change the world for the better, right? So they want to neuter people and make people be basically pussies and not express themselves to the full extent, right? And it is what it is. That's the way it is. And also, these guys make YouTube a lot of money. So, YouTube can remove these guys. But at some point, if YouTube keeps going the way they're going, where they're trying to remove everybody because they don't like their opinions, and you remove prominent people like these guys, that's when if these two guys get removed from YouTube, that's when you know YouTube is dead. Because what's going to be left? Like, everyone's going to start leaving. Like, what would be the point of continuing on a platform that's going to censor or remove guys like this, who are basically middle of the road guys that don't really have too many strong opinions one way? They have their own personal opinions, but when they talk on their channels, they're very middle of the road, and this is just what it is kind of thing, right? They just give you the basic, this is what's happening. They don't really express they make jokes, like the Quartering likes to make a lot of jokes, but they don't really go deep like I do, right? It's not really impactful. It's just, oh, that's good to know. Oh, I'm glad they said that, or they informed me on this. And that's about all you're going to get from them. But anyways, I've said enough. I think you guys get the point. Again, I have no beef with them personally. I actually watch all their content. I like their content. I don't like everything they say. I don't agree with everything they say. That's why I'm making this video. But long story short, I'm never going to be like these guys. I'm going to be me. And I want to grow to be as big as them, right? But I can't do that if I don't get the support, right? So I have to have more subs. I have to have more likes, more followers, whatever you want to call it. I need people to support me on all my media platforms, social media. And hopefully we can get to a point where speaking the truth is allowed, even on YouTube, right? That's the kind of change I want to make. I want to be able to say what I want to say on YouTube without being censored. If we can make that kind of change, then we're actually making progress, right? Because right now it feels like everything is either stagnant or going backwards. If you want to see real progress, let's make YouTube free speech. Let's see if we can do it. If you like, comment, subscribe, share where you can. Hit the notification bell. See you guys in the next video. Take care.